Hello there, Alan here. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to do the Christmas music tag. It's an original tag created by uh, Daniela at Uncommon Reader and by Reney at Beyond Books. And it's created in honor of Reney's first Booktube Anniversary, and I'll link their original videos below, both of them. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat. I'll link to her video below. And I have the prompts here, the answers here. I have some books to hold up. I have some others. I'm going to do some editing on this one and put some books up over in this area. And I have a lot of people to tag. So let's get to it. Oh yeah, before I do, the tag's based on songs, carols, and hymns to celebrate the Christmas season and holiday, but you do not have to celebrate Christmas to do this tag. So I think that's important, because I think some people I tag don't celebrate Christmas, and that's cool. You know, I never used to. I was like, I was never into it. I was kind of humbug, even growing up. But in the past few years, about 5 years or so, or more, since I moved up here to Portland, I just made a choice to enjoy the holidays, you know. But let's get to the tag. Joy to the World, a book that brings you so much joy you wish the whole world would read it. And I've thought about Banneker the whole... I like a lot of humorous books, but how about Jitterbug Perfume? We don't talk about Tom Robbins enough, in my humble opinion. And I just sent him a letter to his P.O. box in Washington. I forget what city, but we'll see if I get a reply back, eh? And Greg and I are gonna read next year another roadside attraction. I believe Greg's never read it, so this will be like the third book I've turned him on to in the past year or so. I'm going 0 for 2 so far. It's the 2 I've recommended. He did not. I think he DNF'd both of them. But prompt 2, a book that takes place in a snowy, cold environment. How about Cold Mountain? Remember that book? Wow, Civil War novel. Fun fact, I have not seen the movie yet. Man, I have to see that movie. I'm sure it's on Prime Video, huh? 3, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. A book with a mean character or one that you just didn't like. Ooh. No, it's Nosferatu, but not the one you're thinking about. It's Joe Hill, and it's N-O-S-4-N-2, Nosferatu. A buddy read that with Sonia at a enthusiastic reader, and we just so happened to, a couple years ago, we so happened to read it over Christmas. We didn't know it, neither of us. We never read Joe Hill, and oh man, that was a pleasure to read. It's funny, but it has some despicable characters and some wild stuff in it, and it takes place over Christmas. I could have mentioned it for prompt number 7, but I got a good one for that too. Prompt 4, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, a book released soon that you can't wait to read. Well, I kind of looked over, I Googled it, I couldn't really come up with one. I depend on fellow booktubers to buddy read with, and they turn me on to new books. And that's how I do it. Or at the library, they don't do it anymore. They used to have Lucky Day, where, a new book, you can get it for 2 weeks. But they don't seem to do that anymore. Prompt 5, 12 Days of Christmas, a book of short stories. Well, Pat gave me this Dublin Tales. It's a good-sized book. It has photos in it, all from Irish writers. It has 2 gallants in it from Joyce. And then it has a William Trevor story in it too, called something about another 2 gallants, something like that. But it has Brendan Behan in it, James Stevens. So I'm saving this for next March for the Irish readathon. 6, The Little Drummer Boy, a book that brings back childhood memories. Now, Oh, I forgot to get it, but I have 2 copies of Huckleberry Finn. I was talking to Pat about this just today too. It's one of the first like adult books. It was way over my head, but I read it. I remember there was a white cover with Huck on it, like smiling with a painting a Finn. Oh, that's Tom Sawyer. But anyway, what did I put down? Or Catcher in the Rye does. Or you know what adult book I read as a kid that I had no business reading is The Sting, that movie with Robert Redford and Paul Newman and others. That's a great movie, but the book, it's like one of the first times I read the F word, you know? Oh, okay, but wow, I'm reading an adult book now, you know? That's how young I was. The first short story I ever remember reading is Five Chinese Brothers, a story from the 1930s. About one can swallow the ocean, one can, you can put him in an oven, he won't burn, one you can't chop his neck off, something like that. It's really derogatory, but it's a thing. I'll try to find it and put it up here. Prompt, what are we on? 6, 7? 7. Deck the Halls, a book that has a party scene or takes place during a holiday. How about, I'd be remiss if I wouldn't mention any Joyce. The Dead. This is from my friend Tom Fasano. He edited an edition of The Dead by, I think, Canyon Press. But, Coyote Canyon Press, Claremont, California. But he edited a version with, I've read through this. He has extensive notes, and, so I'll be reading this over the holidays. It takes place over Christmas and a party scene. Final prompt, Frosty the Snowman, a book with a caricature who is cold or calculating. We don't talk enough about Clarice Lispector, and that's how you pronounce her name, Clarice, because that's how she pronounced it. It's in interviews. And I buddy read a bunch of Lispector with my friend Roz at Scaladelling About the Books and Una at the Codex Cantina. I have several. I have a half dozen or more Lispector books. Really like her. Look how annotated this up is. You won't be surprised. It's all, well, you can't see with my stupid lighting, but yeah, it's bookmarked and dog-eared and under-eared and beat up, and I've read it 5 times. The Passion According to G.H. is the title. The Passion According to G.H., and there's some wild stuff that happens, and I'm not going to give anything away. Tag some people. I'd be glad to. I'm going to tag, anybody who's mentioned in the video is already tagged. Mauve at Mauve Ever Reads. Kat at, forget the name, Ginger Bibliophile. Kat knows who she is. Elaine at Cobalt Dragon. Jenny at Jenny J Bowles. Ben at Ben's Corner. I don't think MJ's been tagged. MJ. Noah at The Bookworm. He spells it like an English guy, like Blake, W-Y-R-M. The Bookworm. Christopher Evanstar. Gareth at Book Songs Other Magic. Hannah at Hannah Reads. And everybody else has already been mentioned. So, hey, thank you for your time and your consideration. And I'll talk to you later.